What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel for another episode of Infinite Cringe. And in this segment, we're going to be talking about internet drama and if there's any lessons that we could ever learn from internet drama, because usually it all seems really useless. But sometimes there's interesting aspects of the psychology behind the morality of calling things out. And I thought it would make an interesting topic of conversation of whether or not public people and their public personas and their public life is basically a free for all that you can attack the person's family or whatever if you disagree with their points. I personally think two wrongs don't make a right, so I don't usually like to focus on people's looks or people's families or whatever weird personal private things that they've got going on. I usually like to stick to what they're saying at the time and make points about what they're saying. So if somebody has TDS, great, point out the TDS. Somebody is making really weird comments about mandatory jabs or whatever, stick to that. Whatever it is, there's stuff that most people say that is so ridiculous that you can go after and you would make great points. And that is the case with Mr. Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker. So, this whole drama has been going on online for months now with comicsgate and the guys from FNT and Eric July. So, one of the most recent threads and updates that are going on is this past weekend, Gary and FNT and them were in Vegas having fun at their meetup. And so people were sharing pictures of being around there and having fun. And Kara Lynn, great girl, love her. She's part of Toxic Femme. And she's also the customer relations manager at Rippaverse. Really cool girl. She posted this thing. She was at the meetup. She posted this picture saying Gary and his angels. And of course, this is a picture of X-Ray Girl, Kara, and Gary's wife, Melissa, who's not really a public figure, but she is involved in obviously Gary's life in terms of because she's his wife. She helps him with his channel behind the scenes and so on and so forth. So she helps plan obviously the meetups. But for the most part, she's very behind the scenes. Like she doesn't talk about the nerd culture. She's not really involved in the arguments that we're making. That's not really a thing when it comes to Gary's wife. She's not very vocal about Gary's points of view. So somebody from the opposite side of this situation made this meme of her and they posted it under this picture. And the meme wasn't received very well. So Cecil quote tweets this and says, "This ain't it, comicsgate. Going after family is low life behavior." And of course, this brings out a lot of emotions and opinions. Cecil came under fire for that take. And he wrote, "Who knew that being against attacking family members would be a controversial take in 2024?" To which Ethan replied, "Never attack family members, especially when their privacy is being protected and they aren't involved in any of this. I've got Ripper First stands going after my special needs daughter. Not a word from anyone about that. My friends, I love you anyhow." Now, here's the thing. I had not seen anything like this about Ethan's wife or Ethan's daughter. I did comment on the other meme and I said Melissa is a really nice lady and this is uncalled for, which I think is true. I didn't think she had anything to do with any of the drama. She didn't deserve being put on blast for something like that. It's stupid. And I think this is just as stupid, especially going after Ethan's autistic daughter. Like, that is so uncool, shouldn't be done. And you guys have beef online. Keep the beef between you guys. Don't get family members involved. That shouldn't really be a hot take. After E made that tweet, a little bit of time went by, and then Melissa just a few days ago made this tweet saying, "Imagine being so desperate for certain someone's attention that you pick a fight with his wife. I wake up to see they are still at it, beyond pathetic. The harder they go, the worse they all look." Then the guy who made the meme came over and said, "I couldn't give an F about Gary. I commented on your photo, simple as that. Not as someone's wife, but directly at you. The amount of cope, straw manning, blaming people I have no association with, the hypocrisy from yourself and others is cringe. Corner of the internet has been fascinating and hilarious, and I've not been still at it. You've literally tagged me in posts that I've then responded to. Put a photo of an ugly woman next to a photo of a Muppet, full SJW meltdowns and pearl clutching perfection." So then this guy comes over and says, I guess hubby Gary relentlessly taunting Mark Hamill with granddaughter's slur tweets for many months, if not years, is totally acceptable, huh? Maybe someone should screenshot every Gary throwing Hamill shade tweet. I'm sure the results would be alarming and highly disturbing. So somebody compiled all of these tweets that Gary had made about Mark Hamill's granddaughter to Mark Hamill, which when you put it in piles like this, it seems like a lot. Any minute now, Mark is going to stop posting about Trump and finally visit his granddaughter. What about people who ignore their granddaughters on Christmas? Breaking, Mark Hamill has announced he will not be visiting his granddaughter. Just going on and on about his granddaughter. And it's kind of a weird situation to be doing this. Mark Hamill has a lot of shitty takes that you can go after, but he just keeps hammering this thing about his granddaughter, which I've always found kind of weird, but it is what it is. Like, I mean, I don't police people's words online, and I don't care to. I just feel like it's an interesting topic of conversation of how far do we take these things. I'm not the morality police, I have my own morals and I will stick by that. But I just think it's an interesting topic of conversation now. So this is going around and it's being discussed whether Mark Hamill should be a topic of conversation because he's a public figure. And that brings us to this tweet here, which is by the woman who apparently birthed Mark Hamill's granddaughter. So the granddaughter's mom is saying, it's not acceptable for anyone to use my daughter as an effing slur. She's a child and she doesn't need to see this ish and feel like she was ever rejected. They love her and she loves them. People need to let this ish be. So I made a tweet about that because I found that really fascinating that she was commenting on our thread. She's coming in and kind of like defending somewhat like Mark Hamill, but mostly her daughter and being like, I don't think that my daughter's relationship with her father and his family should be a subject of conversation with regards to what's going on with this internet drama, which she probably has no idea about. She's like, who are these people? I don't know you. And people are, of course, quick to point out that she was the one who made it a big deal to begin with. So a lot of people have gone and put this article and are kind of calling her out, being like, you brought attention to this. And so you guys may be wondering why Gary has been saying all that stuff to Mark Hamill for a long time. And the story goes that this woman made a big deal out of a child custody battle with Mark Hamill's son. So apparently she got pregnant with Mark Hamill's son. So what led to the custody battle between Nathan and Hamill and Maegen is that according to Radar Online, the custody struggle that unfolded between Nathan and Hamill, Maegen Chen revolved around paternity lawsuit and the quest for child support. Unfortunately, their daughter, Autumn, born on Halloween 2016, has been a center of this ordeal. The article also talks about how this woman, she reported that the pregnancy disclosure was met with urgency by Nathan, who had wanted to terminate the pregnancy despite taking pills, which proved ineffective. The pressure to get rid of the pregnancy, she alleges, remained consistent and led to an ultimatum on the future of their relationship. The unborn child and her relationship with the Hamills have been construed as pursuing financial gain. So people think that she basically went after this dude and his money. I don't know what was in this woman's heart, but the result has turned out to be that now, fast forward to today, this was in 2016. Apparently, Mark Hamill has a relationship with his granddaughter, and so does the father. And they have a very good relationship. For a long time, people were thinking that they weren't having a relationship, but they are. So that this is the dad and the kid. He posts Instagram photos of her all the time. And so then it becomes an interesting topic for me because when you look at someone like Mark Hamill, and you know how Mark has such huge lefty viewpoints. I find it really fascinating that so many people want to bring up this really probably a huge mistake that Mark has made. But I feel like this is an interesting point of view with regards to the abortion argument to begin with, because a lot of the people that I know, like liberal, old school liberals that I know, especially women, that have gone through something the way that this woman has. This woman, Megan, apparently tried to abort the baby and it didn't take. So she had the baby. And a lot of old school liberal women that I know have at one point or another been through something really similar where they tried to abort a baby. They weren't able to. They had the baby, they fell in love, and then they realized how much of a mistake they made and have basically become extremely pro life after that experience. Now, I'm not saying that Mark Hamill has gone through the same thing, but what's interesting to me is seeing how someone like Mark Hamill can change his mind. Here's another post from the mom. Here she is saying, people are allowed to change their opinions from their original stance. Stop using my minor child for your BS, because people are bringing up this article. And again, I think that's a fascinating discussion because, like I said, there's a lot of people that I know, liberals, that have gone through this and have decided that it was a terrible mistake and a terrible decision. And most likely, Mark Hamill is one of those people. Maybe he's not going to come out and put pro life stance in his bio now because he still has an image, but I think it's an interesting discussion in terms of how he feels about his granddaughter and possibly how he may deep down feel inside about abortion because he wanted that baby aborted. And now he has a very good relationship with his granddaughter who he loves. Here is the mom saying, as her mother, I'm not okay with it. She's a relationship with all of them and has been seeing her dad for years now. She loves him and is always so excited to see him. She runs to him every time. He loves her too. And then Ethan replying with, Megan, again, I'm sorry that this has been dredged up. It's nobody's business. Bless you for bringing a baby into this world. Very admirable and brave of you. To which replies, it truly isn't. Happened in 2016. And the minute people could see the pictures of her on Nathan's Instagram, where it's very clear that he loves her, it should have been dropped. All his family has spent time with her and loves her. And this is true because here is a post from Mark Hamill with his granddaughter just hanging out at Easter. So he clearly does love this girl and is clearly visiting her. So I think it's really interesting to have this discussion about whether how much of a someone's past tweets or past takes can you bring up to battle their like what you don't agree with today. Where is the line? Like, where do we draw the line? And isn't it a good indication of somebody changing their minds about something like that? That, maybe he can see the error of his ways with regards to like pro life stance or seeing how maybe he was against that baby being born and now he loves her so much. Maybe deep down inside changed his mind in some way. And then you have really crazy takes like this guy replying to me being like, maybe Mark Hamill should stop posting divisive lies and insults. Like, as if this is some sort of own for Mark Hamill. This sounds just like such an SJW take. Like, Mark better watch out what he says then, or else his whole family is like open to attack. Like, this sounds like such a mob mentality. Like, it's like, no, we're going after Jimmy Hoffa because he crossed the family, like it's like like, we're gonna get you and your entire family, Mark, if you don't see things the way we do, okay? Capiche? Like, it's just like, what kind of mentality is this where we're like, oh, just because we agree with you on one or two points, let us dredge up your really shitty take from however many years ago and just badger you in the head with it for the rest of your life, even if you probably regret that decision and even if you have, made amends with the people involved in this situation, which is basically that Maegen woman and his granddaughter. Because really, that's the only people that matter in this situation. It's his business, it's his life, right? But no, the internet has to internet and they have to make fun of this man for the rest of his life, not for his shitty takes about Trump or whatever else he's talking about today, but stuff he's done years ago. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is a really ridiculous stance to take about something like this. You can make fun of Mark or Trump or whoever for their really shitty takes today, but come on. Like going after this dude's granddaughter for so long and she's just about had it. It seems like this guy comes in. Did Mark Hamill kidnap his own daughter to try and get her to kill her unborn kid? What? I'd say an own is warranted here. I do hope the kid is happy though. Biggest way you can get back at Hamill is making successes he can't take credit for. and she comes in and what the F is up with these crazy stories that never happened and I'm not his daughter. Like people are just like spinning this story. It's like go at least go read the articles, bro. Like you don't even know what you're talking about. Like it's this is just the most craziest shit. So that is I guess that's the moral of the story here. Is it okay to go after family? And how long for? Like, I mean, and people's mistakes, like how long should we badger them over the head? I mean, this is that really like something that we need to do as a society? Is how do we expect people to change if we can never let go something that perhaps would have been a mistake? Are any of us really innocent? Should any of us really be standing on like the do we have the moral high ground to be talking about any of this stuff? What's going on in our past? I think that's a really fascinating topic though. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Is it fair game to talk about Mark Hamill's granddaughter? Where has empathy gone in all of this? Is it fair to talk about Ethan's autistic daughter and wife and Gary's wife and everybody as a free for all when it comes to internet drama and internet personalities going at it and who cares who gets stuck in the middle and what the ramifications are about all of this. You let me know in the comments and until next time, bye everybody.